Well, good morning, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola. Welcome to Positively Osceola Live. And it is, as many call, they say Wednesday is hump day. I just call it Wednesday. Another awesome day to live and to be in Osceola County. And so we love it. Glad to be able to speak to a lot of great folks on our Positively Osceola Live shows. And today is no exception as we get to kind of just hang out and enjoy a relationship we've built over the years with a man that has been in business and in partnership with the community for many years. And I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that, but not a stranger to most folks in the area. And that would be Mr. Charlie Draper. Bam, there he is.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Good. Happy to be on your show this morning.
I was driving in and traffic was moderate, and I was thinking, about halfway here, I said, this is going to be a good way to start the day. Get to hang out with Charlie. So what's new?
Not a lot. One of the topics I wanted to talk about this morning, although not overly dwell on it, is last month, our Florida legislature and governor decided to give an early Christmas present to insurance companies at the expense of our citizens and consumers. And I just wanted to touch on one element of that legislation that I think may be relevant to Florida citizens and consumers. And so that's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it's been a busy start to the year, and certainly legislature. I think that's we're seeing a lot of those things come to fruition. Whether that's a good fruition or a bad fruition or a challenging one, certainly depending on who you talk to. Sure, but we're getting some people popping in, so I want to make this official here as we start it off.
Sure, let's do it.
There we go. Well, again, good morning and welcome to Positively Osceola Live. And we often speak about the great relationships that we are blessed with in and around the county. And that avails us opportunities to speak to folks that are just doing great things in the community. And with Charlie Draper, certainly most folks know he is the owner of Draper Law Office in Central Florida here, Orlando, St. Cloud, Kissimmee, and other areas for sure, since 1984. So how does it feel to have had a career centered in, pretty much centered in one location-ish place, and have it been successful, contributing to the community and for a good long time? And that's got to feel great as a business owner, as a community leader. So tell us how that's felt to see that span of time, please.
Keith, if I had to use one word to characterize it, it would be rewarding. And I'm referring to it in the sense not only personally rewarding, but also in helping others has been very rewarding. Not only our clients, but also the community at large. And so I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to be involved with this community since 1984. As I said, I'm not sure when you moved down to Central Florida, but we have seen so much growth since '84, and have met so many wonderful people,
Yeah.
and I would not change a thing. I really wouldn't. It's just,
Yeah.
um, uh, you know, I I I moved down from New York, and anytime you leave a secure job where you're getting a steady paycheck, you you have second thoughts, okay? And I can tell you, at the end of that year, my first year, my thought was, why didn't you do this earlier? Why
Yeah.
did you wait until 1984?
Right.
As I said, it's been so rewarding. Uh, all the people that we've met, and seeing the community grow, and so I couldn't be happier. And quite fortunately, uh, it's nice to be involved in a job or profession where you still enjoy it. I
Yeah.
mean, as kids, you know, we held jobs. Uh, I can remember from, I don't know, 11 years old. We held jobs where, we basically punch in that time clock and waiting to get paid on Fridays, and that's what we thought was important. But it's so, it's so insignificant compared to being involved in something that you thoroughly enjoy. I mean, where you wake up, and I'm sure you have days like this, where you wake up and look forward to going to work, and that to me is what it's all about. I
Yeah.
mean, if you are so lucky, I don't care what you're doing. You can be a garbage picker. If you
Mhm.
are so lucky to have found a career or job that you're passionate about, that to me, because there's a certain unquantifiable dollar sign that goes with that. It's a benefit that you just can't put a dollar sign on. And so I always encourage people, don't don't chase the money, chase your passion. The money will follow,
Yeah.
because you'll be good at it because you enjoy it.
Right.
And so I've been so fortunate and being connected with a job that I thoroughly enjoy and look forward to every morning going to work.
Yeah, and I think that also is a catalyst. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that that's also a catalyst for um, building long-lasting relationships, because I think that passion you have. I mean, certainly in your case, me looking in at you, I see. I met you from the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce in a marketing committee, right? And
Right.
I think that was it. And as you were talking, I'm thinking, my gosh, this long list of people that and I know through that particular vector was
Right.
substantial. Whether that's if you go back to the David Lane days of St. Cloud Chamber, Don and Madeline Long, and I mean and on, the Marcy and Carl Theobald, all those people, those are pretty long lasting relationships. And that's the common denominator, what you said, which is those are all people that are passionate about and believe in what they're doing. And so you look at them now and they're still doing that to some degree.
Exactly.
Some degree, they're still doing those kind of things. And so you see them still lit up with life in them. So it's a good thing. And so my hat's off to you. Certainly, you're not talking about the community in what we received from what you and your business has done over those years as well. But you've touched people you're never going to know in the way you've impacted people in a good way. So we thank you. So I just chewed a little bit of your time on that, but I sure appreciate you sharing. So why don't you go ahead and you mentioned the Florida legislature, and certainly that is a topic that has been in and around the news a bunch the last few months. Why don't you go ahead and share your perspective on that, please?
Yeah. So they call it the Florida Tort Reform legislation. As I indicated earlier in your show, I look at it as about last month that our Florida legislature and governor gave an early Christmas present to insurance companies at the expense of Florida citizens and consumers. And I just wanted to touch on just one aspect of that legislation that I think is relevant to people, to Florida residents and consumers. And that is this. Under the new law, it reduces the statute of limitations. That is the period within which you have to bring a lawsuit in a negligence action. It reduces it from 4 years to 2 years. Okay. You may not think that that's that important, but it certainly is. I know that under the old law, consumers had up to 4 years from the date of the accident within which to file a lawsuit against the responsible party or parties. And what I have found over the years, Keith, is no one really is anxious to file a lawsuit. Okay. My experience is most citizens prefer not to file a lawsuit as opposed to just presenting a claim. But under the new law, consumers have only up to 2 years from the date of the accident within which to file a lawsuit against a responsible party. And if they do not file a lawsuit within that 2 years, they lose the right to do so. And just to give you an example of the different types of claims that would be subject to the new statute of limitations: motor vehicle accidents, motorcycle accidents, bicycle accidents, trip and falls, slip and falls, dog bites, negligent security cases, and the list goes on. But so I just wanted to bring it to the public's attention that you just can't sit on your rights any longer. And as I said, most of these cases that we handle get resolved at the claim handling stages. Okay, but there are cases that for a number of different reasons extend beyond the 2 year statute. For example, we have cases where clients are injured and they go through the conservative treatment modalities in the beginning, and when they find that doesn't work, then sometimes they have to resort to surgery. But the point is, they want to put that off as long as they can, and if possible, avoid it. Okay, but in the meantime, that clock is ticking.
Right.
And if you haven't consulted an attorney who is knowledgeable about these types of claims, you could run into trouble and lose your right to file a lawsuit and get compensated. So that's the main issue I wanted to bring to the public's attention during this forum. The other is it's really touches my heart. It's a call to action to our community. Osceola Animal Services needs our help. I'm talking about individuals, companies, businesses. They're in need of foster parents, adoption services, foods, supplies, services, funds, that will help them get through this. There's particularly, for whatever reason, there's a lot of dogs and cats in their services right now. Now, right. I don't know the reason for that, but I do know that Draper Law Office is excited about responding to their needs, and one of our attorneys is fostering a cute little puppy, and they need fosters for kittens and dogs, and so we're just want to bring it to the public's attention that if you're in a position to either foster a kitten or a dog, or provide foods and supplies, or make a financial donation, we're going to kick this off in another forum in the next week or so, devoted to just Osceola Animal Services. But I wanted to just kind of give a shout out to the Osceola County Animal Services, and what we would like to do as a community leader in trying to get other individuals and businesses invested in this very needy cause. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to bring it out on your show because of your many, many followers. So thank you.
And we're certainly going to help you with that. We've been able to stop out there a bit ourselves over the last few years, and it is, it's unfortunate, or it's challenging, certainly, as busy as everyone is. And just for extra kicks, this COVID crazy thing happened for a while. And so I think sometimes we talk a lot about traffic in this community. We talk a lot about how many folks are moving here. And that's certainly that's a conversation that happens on multiple levels for sure throughout the community. We get all that for darn sure. But we don't often hear what you're saying, which is, along with this influx of a lot of folks and a lot of development, a lot of animals are somehow ending up in animal services, Osceola County Animal Services, which that location resides on in St. Cloud. So a lot of folks don't know about that, and they don't, of course, know about the challenges that particular agency has in keeping animals in a humane way taken care of. So it's in a lot of folks, a lot of animals, and so here come the challenges, right? So it's hats off to you for stepping up, and certainly Michelle over there, as I got a good look at that puppy you're referencing, and that's like the smart dog ever. The smartest dog. So yeah, it's a big cause. We're glad to be able to help you with that, and too, as much as we can. And so hats off to you again. And we were talking about the St. Cloud Chamber, and Patty Wright popped in, and she certainly been around the organizations that you have been around as well. So her and her daughter Robin, great folks. Great to see her name pop up today. Hey, can we just real quick back on the, if you don't mind, back on the insurance and the change with the Florida legislature.
Sure.
So it is definitely it's a challenge. I was in a conversation. I'll make it real brief. I was in a conversation with a number of business leaders just a few days ago, and they were referencing one of the catalysts for that, or maybe that's where the media perceived it, is one of the catalysts was the mega amount of roofs that have been replaced by homeowners insurance, and that was a catalyst to the Florida legislature getting in that area. So do you find that to be true? Is that maybe one of the catalysts that got people sitting down and talking about the law?
I think it is, Keith. It's an area that we don't get involved with.
Sure.
But I think you're right. I think it is. It's I don't want to say it's an area that uh, is fraught with abuse on the part of claimants, but I think it may be perceived uh, as such, whether it be public adjusters, attorneys, and when you an individual purchases homeowners insurance, they expect, they pay their premium and they expect to be paid
Right.
according to the policy terms for the damages caused by, whether it be Ian or Nicole or
Right.
any number of severe weather conditions. And I think you're right, though. I think that was probably a catalyst,
Right.
that was behind this. It was perceived as an area that was so fraught with potential abuse
Right.
that, and when I say that, I mean, I'm certainly not letting the insurance companies off the hook, because I'm sure there's been abuse on both sides, right?
Yeah. Right.
But it's unfortunate that the Florida citizens and consumers are the ones that are going to be paying the price for that.
Right. And out of the busiest agencies, I'm thinking around the state, just prior to that law passing, is certainly could be said that it was the county clerk's offices. They were a little busy, as I'm sure you guys were as well. But yeah, I don't think that story's over. I think that's going to be something we're going to be talking about for years to come, and so we'll see how that all fleshes out for sure. Tough one. What do?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
When you're dealt lemons, you make lemonade, right?
There you go. And that's part of being in business for more than a couple months, right? You see, and that's got to be something we could probably close with. So that is one of the things that happens. I think when you experience, or when you've led a business or organization or agency for a good amount of time, you see these cycles. You see bumps in the road. You see, great peaks and some valleys, and you see a lot of that. And that's one of the skill sets I think that you pick up, is trying to, look at what you can't control and how can you adjust and do a great job in what you're doing without regard to what external things are happening. Would you agree with that kind of thing?
I do. You've got to be able to pivot, because particularly over things that you can't control. I mean, I certainly had no control over the legislation, and so you just have to be aware of it and work under the new rules.
Yeah. Never know what's coming, right? I was a sax player one moment. Next thing you know, I run a digital news agency.
and good at both of them.
We're trying. Hey, I just want to say thanks again for spending some time with us today, and certainly thanks for what you brought to the community, you and everybody at your law office, for sure. For those people who don't know your contact number and how to get a hold of you in this simple way, why don't you go ahead and give us if somebody's looking for personal injury legal advice, certainly, or family law. Why don't you go ahead and let us know how people can reach out to you and
Okay,
and
sure.
services, please.
So we're located right across the street from the old courthouse. It was a building that was built back in 1896, and we renovated it and have been in here since, I think, 1987. So the physical address is 705 West Emmett Street in Kissimmee. We can be reached at 407-846-0075, or we can be found, go online and find the firm. And yeah, we, as you pointed out, we focus primarily on two areas of the law, primarily personal injury and wrongful death. And then the second area was family law. And so we feel that by focusing just on those two areas, we can better serve our clients. Okay. We're certainly not a full service firm. We don't try to be everything to everyone. And there's so many areas of the law that we just don't handle. So, but having said that, we do get calls on regarding other areas of the law, and we have a network of attorneys that we can refer you to. So please give us a call. Go to our website, look at our reviews, and look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Yeah, and you call when you call a Draper Law Office, you actually get a human being online, and they actually call you back. You know, it's awesome. It's a little different. It's a little different these days. The customer service. You know, what do you do? What do you do? And go ahead.
That's important to us.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, that I think people know that about you. And certainly when I call, I always love speaking to Michelle or Maggie or one of the other team members over there. A great bunch of folks. So if you're looking for legal advice and a law firm you can trust and enjoy working with, certainly call Charlie and the rest of the Draper Law Office team over there. And to dispel a rumor, we were friends before we realized that we were Buffalo Bills fans.
Exactly.
You know? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Go Bills. All right. Well, I appreciate your time today, Charlie. And as always, it's great to talk to you. I hope we can maybe come back and talk a little bit more about the Florida legislature changes to, in as far as, you know, what we were discussing, the legal side and the insurance side. And there's a lot to discuss there as this all continues to play out. But I do appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for having me, Keith. Always a pleasure.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. I was glad to be driving to the office today thinking I got to talk to you. So again, thanks. Appreciate it. Cool. All right. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with Charlie Draper of Draper Law Office here at Positively Osceola Live, together making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Have a great day, everyone. See you, Charlie.
Thank you.